I call Peter Parauni.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker.
Tēnā koe.
Engari I mua tahaere tonu o tēnei wahanga. E tika ana e tuake tēnei ki te tautoko ngā mihi I mihi ngea I tēnā o ngā rōpu tō rangapū ki te mihi atu ki hakaho, whakatohea me te waka o mātātua. I te hingatanga a tā rātou rangatira a rangi nui woka. Ko ia te tangata hei tauira mō tātou o te ao Māori putano ki te iwi whānui o Aotearoa. Mēnā e hia kai koe ki te kai ngā mātauranga o te ao. Ka ore kau ke koe e hinga atu. Nā reira e kara e rangi haere hoki atu. Takahia e koe ke runga te ara whānui I kawe atu I a koe ki te kāpuni-punitanga o ngā wairua. Nā reira koe ato wahi mā koutou I noho nei roto tau ao wairua, ka hoki mai ki a tātou no te ao tūroa, nā reira tēnā koutou huri no ki tēnei o tātou whare. Mr. Speaker, can I say that just listening to the comments emanating from the other side of the House, I wonder sometimes whether I am in the same country, given that they continue to extol the virtues of their government, of their leader, about how they've addressed things like housing, health, unemployment and education. And yet, from where I come from in the electorate that I'm responsible for at this time on behalf of the New Zealand First Party, Whangarei, the statistics, particularly in terms of Māori, aren't that good. And that's in spite of government extolling the virtues of having the Māori Party sitting at the same table. And so I need to ask myself, now, is this another world or am I just imagining things? Can I say that the Maori in the labour market, the unemployment, national Maori unemployment is still sitting at 12.6%. Findings from both the 2014 survey and 2015 survey identified exact same issues within Maori unemployment. Maori unemployment may have fallen marginally in both 2014 and again last year, but it still remains twice as high as the rate for all ethnic groups. And so I haven't heard from that side of the House, Mr. Speaker, what the government has done in that regard. I look at education. 2015, Maori with degrees or high qualifications had the highest unemployment rate, 86.3%. Maori with no school qualifications had the lowest unemployment rate, 42.4%. And so it does pose the question whether in fact the education that has been provided for our people, whether it is relevant for them getting a job. And there used to be a time when they would get their qualifications and head off overseas. However, it's not so good, particularly in Australia where they used to go, because of the mining industry and the decline in work in that area. But I want to touch on something that I've had to face year in, year out, and that's the question of Waitangi Day. As the chairman of the organising committee that puts together a program for that day, we can always, as a committee, ascertain before Waitangi Day whether or not the dust will fly, in terms of using a Maori paraphrase, or it will be calm and everyone will enjoy themselves. Unfortunately, government chose to sign the TPPA agreement 2 days out of Waitangi. So one shouldn't be surprised at the reaction, not only Māori, but people across the nation. And while we might say that we have trade agreements that are good, I think the nub of the protest is essentially what is the detail in those agreements. And while we've been assured that by the opposition, by the government, that that the treaty will not be infringed on, we do not have any evidence that, in fact, that is the case. And so one shouldn't be surprised where Maori, while it has been said that they may not know what they're objecting to, they certainly know that they haven't been told the detail. Likewise for the rest of the country. Now, Mr. Speaker, can I suggest to the government, in spite of the comment of consulting the people, the very people who were at Waitangi who protested certainly weren't consulted. The government may have consulted some of their friends from the Brown Table who are in fact behind driving a lot of the amendments to legislation that will help strengthen their position at the Brown Table. But for the ordinary Joe Blog, they haven't been consulted. And so one shouldn't be surprised. The other thing I'm a little bit annoyed about is that every year we have a large number of protesters come to Waitangi, do their protest, and leave their crap behind for those at home to have to deal with. And to have a former leader of the National Party and the ACT Party say that the person was not charged because they were Maori is an insult, because the person certainly wasn't a Maori. The person was from Christchurch, and I would like to tell her what she has caused at home. And the fact that we are now becoming a laughing stock of the world because of such activities, we should be concerned. The other thing is the question of the flag. Again, we have people protesting about that. And probably there may be a need for change. But did the people of New Zealand ask for it? How often have we, from this side, talked about the need to have more funding for particular social programs and been told that there's not enough money? And yet, at the whim of the Prime Minister, we can find 26 million to help try and do a flag change, which really the majority of people do not want.
Well, we'll know that next week.
And, Mr. Speaker,
This is devastating.
the question has been asked, why should Māori not ask for a change? Well, can I just remind this House that part of the present flag includes the Union Jack. And if we go back to the Treaty of Waitangi, who was that covenant between? Māori and Queen Victoria. And so the Union Jack is a reminder to all of us that the Treaty of Waitangi does have a part not only in the history of this country, but in the future of it as a whole. So I just want to say those things, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, and to say that in spite of what the opposition have said about how good their party is, how good their government is, the facts certainly don't show that. If we consider, and the member from Whangarei made comment about the different roadworks, and he started off by listing the roadworks on the Bryn Derwin. Well, can I tell you, Mr. Speaker, what's been done is not roadworks, it's probably more earthworks. And what it'll do, it's creating 4 lanes going into 1 lane at the top. So what about the other side of the hill, Mr. Speaker? He also used the Hikurangi bypass as an example. Can I remind the member that it was only a few years ago that bypass was put in. So already it's either out of date or the work that was done at the time has become irrelevant. So, Mr. Speaker, let's not get carried away with what we think we might have done. given that there is still an unacceptable large number of our population, our fellow citizens, who are living in poverty. Nā reira, tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koutou.